Hello sweetie, welcome back to my channel. This is Sweet Achille. I am so excited to be with you all today, and I hope everyone is doing wonderfully well. In today's video, I share my beef vegetable stew or sauce recipe with you all. Let's get started. So I'll be using 1 can tomatoes. I have onion, sweet peppers, tomatoes, garlic, and habanero pepper I'm gonna use to make my sauce. Here I have scallions, some sweet peppers, carrots, and cabbage for the stew. So I'll start by making tomato sauce with the first part of my ingredients and part of my sweet peppers. So yes, that's what I'm doing. And then I'll go ahead and prep my meat, and I take off any fatty parts that I don't want, and then I'll go ahead to parboil it in my sink with some hot water and salt. Okay, once I cut it to my preferred sizes. I like to parboil my meat to get out any additives and colors that they use to make it look appealing. All right, but it is totally optional. I like to do that. You don't have to. Alright, yeah, our meat is nice and clean. Our sauce is also ready. I have additional ingredients, which are onions, calabash nutmeg, garlic, ginger, basil that's blended and frozen, and rosemary. I ended up using just 1 calabash nutmeg because the flavor is very intense and you want to be careful. So once blended, I added part of it to the meat. To that, I add my homemade chicken seasoning, shrimp seasoning, some salt, and my vegetable seasoning. So pretty much it's only homemade seasoning that I'm using, and I'm going to allow this to cook in its own juices for about 10 to 15 minutes or until I'm satisfied with it. And I season this very well, so once I use the stock, I might end up not adding any more seasoning to my stew. So you know, keep this in mind when you season your meat. Now I'm going to fry the meat with some coconut oil, and I'm going to set it aside. Now you don't have to fry this, you can bake it if you prefer, but the coconut oil gives it an amazing flavor. Then I'll strain the oil because I'll use the same oil for frying to make my stew. To this, I'll add some sliced up onions and let it cook for about 3 minutes. Then I'll add the rest of my blended up ingredients, and I'm going to cook this for an additional 5 minutes. I then seasoned it with some shrimp powder, which is going to make the stew taste really good, but it is optional. I then add my tomato sauce, and then I'll rinse out the bowl and add that water. I'll be cooking this on medium-low heat for about 10 to 15 minutes, making sure that it does not burn. Once oil begins to form on top of it, I'll add the stock from my meat, which is flavor packed, so I do not have to add anything. You want to taste it for salt at this time to add more if you wish. Next, I'll add my meat and allow it cook for the final 10 minutes because our stew is as good as done. Once it's done though, I'll set half of it aside before adding my veggies because my children does not care for vegetable stew at all. So I've done that, and at this point I add string beans, cabbage, and carrots because they're the hardest, and I'm going to allow it to cook for about 10 minutes. And I'll add a bit of water to loosen up the stew and also to cook my veggies to perfection. All right. Yes, our stew is looking good, and at this point it's done. So I'll add my peppers and spring onions as my finishing touch, and also for freshness and much needed crunch. Okay, once I do that, I'm going to turn the heat off, and the residual heat will complete the cooking of the peppers because you don't want to cook it until it's mushy. That will not allow your stew to taste good. You need that crunch. All right, our stew is now done, and I'll be serving mine today with some rice. You can enjoy it with plantain, potatoes, yam, you name it, it goes well with it. Thank you all so much for watching. I hope you enjoyed this video. If you're a new subscriber, Welcome to my channel. This is Sweet Ajele. Thank you so much for subscribing. And to the sweet team, I love you all so much. Until I see you in my next video, stay safe, keep loving each other, and remember that the love of family is life's greatest blessing. Bye, y'all.